Good morning, Rabbi Sai. It's great to be back. It happens maybe every year, every 2 years. Today I woke up at 7:10. There's nothing to clap about. A little jet lag, just a little jet lag. And I'm here. I wanted to prepare a little bit more, but you'll see, Baruch Hashem, today's daf is one of those dafim that is chazara upon chazara upon chazara. We're going to get to Amud Beis, and some of you are going to start falling asleep and walking out on me. Hold it together. It's gewaldige stuff. A little rundown. What happened was, if you don't know, yesterday I left Salt Lake City. What's yesterday? No, not yesterday, sorry. Monday morning, 6 in the morning, we left we left Park City to get to Salt Lake City. So we took flight number 1 to Chicago. We got to Chicago, Baruch Hashem, we arrived on time, 20 minutes early. So we had a 4-hour layover. My wife said it's not enough time to leave the airport, get your luggage, drive home, and record a shir and come back to the airport. Because you have to be at the international flight like 2.5 hours before. And that only gives you an hour and a half to drive from the airport, which takes about a half hour, find your luggage also, and then come back, that's an hour. But I had to do it. So I ran home, I run into the house, sit down, record, take all the stuff, you have to set it up, right? Take all the stuff, throw it back in the suitcase, and run out to the cab. So Baruch Hashem, that worked. And then I got to Chicago. We went through security. I said, you know what? Maybe the whole plan was I'll just give the shir for the Hebrew guys. Usually Hebrew comes first. I'll give the Hebrew. When I come to Eretz Yisrael, I started looking around and I see a room it says wellness room, and there's a guy selling liquor right over there. So I said, what's wellness room? He goes, I've never been in there and I don't know what it is, but I have the key for it. You want to go? So I said, yeah. So I go in there. It looks like a bathroom without a toilet. It has a sink, it has a mirror, it has a place to change your baby. I said, this was built just for the shir. So I sit down in there, I give a shir. Get to Germany, and a guy walks over to me. I never met him before. He says, I used to do your shir. I did brachas, Eruvin, and Shabbos, but I dropped out. But I want to donate something to the shir. Okay. So he donated a very, very nice amount. He said he'll come, but he's probably jet lagged. He told me he's going to be very tired. He's going to try to come. If he came, when he comes, I'm not going to tell you who he is, so you guys don't attack him. But anyway, so that's it. And last night I got back here, and it was about a 30-hour trip. Gave the shir in Hebrew. I thought I'm good. And then I set 2 alarms always, because when it happened to me last time that I got up at 7 o'clock, so from then I started setting 2 alarms. I set 2 alarms. It's garnished. At 7:10 I wake up. Whoa. Okay, so here I am. Shkoyach. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Daf Frankel.
Daf Frankel from Vanen?
Can you see her?
No, MS. Wow. So we're not going to put you on camera. Say that, Dov. Shalom Aleichem. Don't zoom in on him. Gewaldig. Don't. Not more. Not more than that. Wie has he heisted? Also from Kriyas Yisrael?
No, come this way.
Noch besser. Gewaldig. Okay, so you have also Satmet? No? Yeah, okay, gewaldig. Wow. Are you on that WhatsApp group? You don't have WhatsApp, versteht sich. But let's say you had WhatsApp. You'd be on the WhatsApp group? On the Vadi you would be. Okay, gewaldig. By the way, you should pass it. Whose cookies are these? Mandy, the yours? So pass it down. Let's go.
Don't worry.
That's for the koil. I heard that. Okay, gewaldig. Okay. I just wanted to share how much you inspire me in your other Talmidim. So here's the thing, and that's why I'm reading this. You're the most unconventional Maggid Shir out there. On one hand, maybe it's weird to have a famous Maggid Shir on the slopes in ski gear. Very weird. But I did it to be mechazik this guy. Yeah, mamash moiz nefesh. Listen, I thought about it, seriously, I thought about it. My daughter lives in a makom shmama. There's no minyan on a regular Shabbos there. No friends. So I have to go visit her once in a while. There's no shayla. I'm going to have to go 4 or 5 times a year. What else should I do? And then you can't be in a place. It's mamish leisachsoim loyeg l'rosh. It's right there. She lives in a ski resort. Well, I'm not going to go skiing. It's also to be there and not do it. Because Baruch doesn't want you not. So I went 3 hours a day. That's it. I gave shir until 1 o'clock in the morning. 1 in the afternoon. I have to prepare for the Israelis. Gave the shir. 1 o'clock. I got into the slopes. Not. So all chesed. I had to say many are. Yet, at the same time, your Mesiras Nefesh at the shir is legendary. Today in particular, where you made a whole stop in your house just to give the shir was inspiring. I had a difficult day today. I was not feeling well. I'm feeling very unmotivated to do anything. I was laying in bed most of the day and watching YouTube. Yet I managed to get up, the courage, to do the daf because you show how it's done. Keep it up. Name withheld. I wrote that myself. Please keep this anonymous. There's another one. When I saw the clip of you playing, especially the part where you say dafim test, an overlay says, oops, 50. I thought to myself, okay, where's 49? I knew from that experience, Bekitzer, reliable clock, you come with your crazy ideas, going out of your way to make everyone else on Shpilkis, just to make sure that the guys like me who rely on you can learn the daf every day. Oh, people wonder why you're so successful. In my humble opinion, it's not the jokes, the camaraderie, the charts, art, and even the clarity of your explanations, though that's huge. But it's your dedication, literal Mesiras Nefesh, and having so many. So you see, I can go skiing, enjoy myself, givaldi, and this guy's tiny in this Mesiras Nefesh. I love it. No matter what I do, I can't go wrong. So many thousands of your brothers bring you to Siyat Shmai to be the shliach. Unreal, so happy to be part of this. Ashrecha ve'asher koyach to your tireless efforts. Mark, much of this could have been said to describe you. Yosef Klein, Ari Liba, and I'm sure many more. Thanks. With much akar satov, your Talmud. Rabbi said, this guy sent us a picture with his face shown, but it's gewaldic. He's on some sort of flying device. I'm not sure what this is, some sort of helicopter maybe? And it says he's a Rav Seren. What is that in English? He's a major. He's watching the shir. Here's Rabbi Geffen. Oh, and this is gewaldic. This is going around the Birevach. You saw this? You didn't see this yet? You've never seen a sign this size. Hold on. This is, I'm going to give a shir in Birevach, a guy that watches the shir. He's the owner of Armanot Chen. So he's giving, what's his name? Moshe Cohn. He's giving us the hall for free. He's giving us all the advertising. He's doing the advertising himself. This is his advertising and all the food. There's going to be food there. He thinks there's going to be 1,000 people. There's a lot of people from Birevach that come to the Hebrew Shir every day, like another guy from Birevach shows up here. Check this out. Look at this sign. I don't know if you've ever seen a sign like this in your life. My brother was walking in Birevach at 1 in the morning. This is my brother talking.
Rebelli. Middle of Birevach. Everyone's standing here. It is 1:15 in the morning now, but.
Tu b'Shvat in Birevach. We should do one of it. Check this out, Rabbi Isai. We did a lottery, the thing yesterday, the spin. Dave, 390 people are in this raffle. And you know this guy? He lives in Avi Kamiansky's building. I bring him here to the front. This kid. You never seen this kid? He's a very good kid. Very starky kid. You know? He won $1,500 in the toy store, 1,500 shekel in the toy store. Sponsored by Dave Sharfman. Dave gave it. All right. The Masechta sponsor for Refuah Shelaima for Yosef Chaim Shmuel Ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. Masechta sponsor for the Atzach Baruch and ובגשמיות. The Masechta sponsor Ari Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70. Masechta for the unity of the Jewish people. The Masechta Glen Esterson with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Parnasa Chodesh 5. Zchut, Parnasa Birevach for Baruch, Tzvi, Nissim, Shoshana with Hakar Satoiv from Anonymous. Shprintzy Alan Gross. Alan Gross is right here with us. Yishkoyach Alan for coming. The Yosef of our fathers. That's why you're here. Shlomo Zalman ben Yitzchak Isaac Zchut Vracha and Biyamin Isaac ben Tzvi Hirsha Koyen. No, is that how you say it? Biyamin Isaac ben Tzvi, because it's on two different lines. Biyamin Isaac ben Tzvi Hirsha Koyen Zchut Vracha and Refuah Shelaima to Yonas and Eitan ben Batsheva Bracha. By Leon Welcher for the speedy release of Aaron ben Hila, Esther Gittel, Ari Rosenfeld, a frum Jew and participant of MDY, has been incarcerated in prison for too long. Parnasa HaChodesh of the Koilel, dedicated in honor of Adam Rodman and Stephen Mendel. May they see much success in their lives. Amen. Parnasa Yoim, Joel Mizrahi, Akarat Tov, Mesirut Nefesh Berebeli, and family. Mark Ashkenazi and editors. Yeah, the editors were up many nights till 3, 4 in the morning. So yishkoyach to them. Yishkoyach to Mark Ashkenazi, who crazy times came and he did all the. Not only did he do the shiurim online, but I don't know if you're watching the shiur, he actually flew from Phoenix to Salt Lake for a few hours just to say hello and to do the shiur over there live. This is very sad, Rabbi Isai. I hope I keep it together over here. Lilishmas Hayeled Mordechai Olav Shalom Ben Refuah Chaim Doiv, Rabbi Ari Yitzchak Chekenaz's grandson. You recall a piece of granite fell on his head a few months ago when he was playing with the table and it fell on him. The Shoshana should have an aliyah, and the mishpacha should have a lot of chizuk. Parnas hayoim lili nishmas Rivka bas Baruch, whose yortzeit is today. Breakfast in honor of Reb Eli's return to MDY. Yishkoyach Yaakov Itzkowitz, Rachamim Sholov, Avremi Cohn, Yaakov Turgeman, Barry Siegel, Elvis Skensberg, Baruch Shafnis, Yitzhak Moshe, Penny Gilden, Baruch Berger, Elimelech Goldberg, Yishkoyach, all of you. You know, I never mentioned that Oshi and the Oilam, they bought a yad for the Sefer Torah. I keep on forgetting to mention. They bought a silver yad, Zishkech Oshi, a yad, you know, the pointer to the... A yad. Art of the month for Zchut, for Veli, and all MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoy so many. Art of the month in honor of Yossi Klan and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do. So, Rabbi Isai, it's a super simple sugya today, so please, just because it's so simple doesn't mean you should fall asleep. Try to anticipate what's going on here. We have a machlokes, the Nechama and Reb Shimon. Everybody agrees these are the 4 mises of Bezin. But what's the most severe one? According to Nechama, skila, then comes sreifa, then comes hereg, then comes chenek. What's the nafkamina? What's the most severe? As Gemara is going to say, mefurish, if a person is chayiv, let's say two different mises, he did 2 different averes, and his chayiv skila and chenek. Which one does he get? He gets the more severe one. So if a person is chayiv sreifa and skila, there would be machlokes, Reb Shimon and Tanakama, which one he gets. According to Reb Shimon, sreifa is the most severe, and then comes skila. And then let's say a person is chayiv chenek and hereg. So over here we also have another machlokes between Reb Shimon and Tanakama. The 2 bottom ones and 2 top ones are machlokes, Reb Shimon and the Tanakama. So today's sugya is all about figuring out which one is the most severe. But in doing so, let's see if I can get there. There's a lot of stuff here. Oh. This is the whole sugya, a regalachas. Mamash regalachas, and it's very, very simple. The Gemara says skila is more, I'll just zoom in here so you could appreciate the different misas. The guy has hot lead coming out of his mouth on the, here he goes, he's spilling the hot lead. And this guy has a stone on him. And Saif, he doesn't have his head anymore. He's holding it like a helium balloon on the side. Chenek, since he's a potato, it's hard to choke a guy. So it's the bottom of his potato. And then you have chenek. Okay. So the Gemara is going to tell us real quickly that skila is more severe than sreifa. Why? Because that's the einish that you give to Oved Avodah Zarah here. This is Oved Megadef. Megadef is Mekal Hashem. And then what's the chumrah? What's the actual chumrah? In other words, it's the worst and the worst. There's nothing worse than Avodah Zarah. But each thing that the Gemara is going to bring has a practical difference. And this is a little less practical than the rest, but at the end of the day, this guy is doing the worst thing, the number one worst thing, which is to not believe in the Rebbeinu Shalom, to deny the existence of the Rebbeinu Shalom, the Creator. Kaifer be'ikr. The ikr means the most important thing that we believe in, that he's kaifer in. For instance, this is not according to everybody. Then we'll do according to Reb Shimon, but it's the same ideas. Sreifa over here is more chomer than sayif. Why? Because you give it to a bas kohen that was mizana, the daughter of a kohen that was mizana. And what's so bad about that? She's machalal the name of her father. Her father, people will curse him in the street. They'll say, look what you did. This is the girl you brought up. Chenek is less severe than sayif. Why? because the people of Ir Nidachas, they get Sayef. And so what's so bad about Ir Nidachas? Because you have to burn everything they own. And finally, Chenek is the least. The Gemara had a Havamina that would be very, very severe, because that's what you give to a kid that hits his own parents. And Kibbud Aim is similar, should be on the same, not more, but should be on the same level as being Mechal Shem Shomayim. It's the same idea of being Megadif, let's say. But we thought that's very severe. These four things, we're going to go through at least 4 times. You know, once you know the whole Amud, the whole Daf really. So let's see inside. Where's my water? What I really need is a coffee, which is right over here, but it's a little too hot. Okay. Chaim, shkoyach. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So says the Gemara, 3 lines from the bottom of Memtes Amud Beis. Skila Sreifa. Skila Chamurim is Sreifa. How do I know that Skila is the number 1 on the list? Right? What's number 1 on the list? Skila. Number 2 on the list is Sreifa. So first let's take care of Skila is more Chomer than Sreifa. Then we're going to say Skila is more Chomer than Sayef. Then we're going to say Skila is more Chomer than Cherek. And then we're going to move the list over to Reb Shimon. We're going to do the whole thing over again. Sreifa is more Chomer than Skila. Sreifa is more Chomer than Sayef. Sreifa is more Chomer than Cherek. Skila Chamurim is Sreifa. Shekenit Megadif. You give Skila, how do I know it's the number 1? Misa, it's the worst of the worst, because that's what you give to somebody that's Megadif, that curses Hashem, Ula Ovid Avodah Zarah, and does Avodah Zarah. Like in this picture right over here. My Chumrah. And what's the practical Chumrah? Shekem Poishet Yodei Be'ikar. Because at the end of the day, he denies the main thing, which is believing in the Rebbeinu Shalom. Says Gemara Adarabah, perhaps it's the opposite. Perhaps Sreifa Chamura, maybe Sreifa is more Chamer. Shekain Nitna Lebas Koyin Shezinsa. The daughter of a Koyin who's Mizana, she gets Sreifa. Umay Chumra. Now, the Gemara is trying to do here, according to some Rishonim, everybody knows that Avodah Zarah is the most Chomer. That's not even a question. Where it says, oh, but maybe the Chumrah of a Bas Koyin is so severe, Shekem Mechaleles is severe. Does anybody in this room think that if you Mechalel Aviyah, first of all, what's Mechalel Aviyah? Mechalel Aviyah, says Rashi, means that now, if they treated him with Gdusha, the father, now they treat him mundane. Oimer, Arush Zu, Yolad, Arush Zu, Gidel. People are going to tell him in the street, because this Bas Koyin, Shezinsa, is still living by him, or we'll see in a second. They'll say, this is the daughter that you brought up. Cursed are you that you brought up such a girl. Other Rishonim explain, you hear this? What's the Via Mechaleles? That if a Koyin, Rabbi Schoenberg, you ever knew this? You could lose your Aliyah, your Koyin. You also Dani. Let's say people give you the kibud of benching, you lose that. When the daughter's Mizana, you lose that. You don't deserve it anymore. Esavim Mechaleles. Okay. So let's say all these terrible things. You lose your Koyin Aliyah, you lose your Netilas Yadayim first, and your benching, and all the good stuff that a Koyin gets. So why would I have a Havamina that's worse than being Mechal Shem Shomayim, to be Megadif? So the answer is Pasha, and that explains the Sugya. Yeah, look at the 2 things on the left. Top one is Shekem Poishet Yad Bikr. The word you deny the Rebbeinu Shalom. And underneath it, Adarabah. It's Adarabah. Shekem Mechaleles is Aviyah. So, but on a practical level, it's much worse. Practical here in this world. The fact that you cursed the Rebbeinu Shalom, okay, the Rebbeinu Shalom will take care of you, but nothing happened to anyone. Over here, you hurt another human being. She messed up another human being, so maybe it's more chomer. That's the Havamina. At the end of the Gemara, you're going to say, no, that's much worse, to be Pashi Yabikar. Top of, Stam, this idea of Mechaleles Savio. This guy goes to the Rav, and he tells the Rav, I don't know what to do. I thought that my son-in-law is the top guy in yeshiva. He had the most potential. Everybody told me he's going to be the biggest galadar. And, at the end of the day, he became a delivery guy for the pizza shop. But he tells the Rav, I don't care about myself. I care about the Rebbeinu Shalom, Klal Yisrael. What a loss, what a pashat, a loss for Yiddishkeit. So Rav says, oh, that's very nice. So let's say your neighbor also had such a shidduch. You got the top guy in yeshiva, and the neighbor's chassan became the pizza delivery guy. It would also mamish bother you like that? No, that doesn't bother you b'chlal. Bother you because it's your son-in-law. Okay, so he's mechalel your shem. It's your own busha. Okay. So says the Gemara, Kasavi Rabbanon, Nisua Yotza L'Sreifa V'lo Yarusa. So here we have a very nice chart for the rest of the sugya. Very, very simple chart, but it makes everything clear. On the right side you have a Yisrael, on the left side you have a Cohn. But there's a big difference between a Bas Yisrael who's married and a Bas Yisrael who's Arusa. Now, without looking at the chart, I want to ask you a very simple question, and this explains the sugya. What's worse, for an engaged girl to be mizana or a married girl to be mizana? What's worse? Married. Everybody says married. What's worse? Who's more married? A married woman. What's an arusa? Arusa is also Eishasish, but she's only engaged. She only got a ring. There's no chuppah. Yeah, let's do this real quickly for the new people, so that everybody's on the same. Erusin is that the guy gives her a ring, and then they, like Hasidim, they separate for a year, and then they do something called chuppah. That's nesuin. But at this stage of Erusin, in those days, it was real kesef kiddushin. So she's 100% the Eishasish, stage one. Stage two is that there's chuppah. So I'm going to ask you again, what's more chomer? If she's mizana right after she got the ring, or she was mizana after chuppah? Everybody says after chuppah. The Gemara says no. It's worse to be mizana after Erusin. What's pshat? So it's very hard to understand. In terms of Eishasish, she's much more Eishasish after chuppah. Says Rashi, unbelievable thing. I'm jumping ahead just to see this Rashi. Al korach harusa chamura minasua shira ala shamayim ula briyos ula atzma. You hear this? I've never seen something like this. Hardly ever. Here's a person that committed 3 crimes. She's ra ala atzma. The first thing, she's ra ala shamayim. She did an aveira against Hashem. She did an aveira against her family. She embarrassed her family. Why? Because she's living in her father's house, and her father allowed this to happen, and she did something wrong to herself. Usually we care about Rala Shamayim, it's Ben Adam LaMakoim, Ben Adam LaChaveroi. Over here, it's Ben Adam LaMakoim, Ben Adam LaChaveroi, and Ben Adam LaAtzmai. Poigemes ba'atzma. It's worse off than a married woman who's there's no father involved there. It's worse of an embarrassment minasua. Shekvan nifgama. And here she's pure, she's still a psulo. Oh, so now that we know this, now we go back to this chart right over here. Now, take a look. Let's look at the right side. A Bas Yisrael who's married gets chenek. A Bas Yisrael arusa gets skila. What's worse, an arusa's mizana or an asuda's mizana? We just said an arusa that's mizana did 3 things, and she gets, what punishment does she get? Skila. So what's worse here? Skila is worse. Umay chumash gem chalas zavit. Savi Rabban on top of Nun Amud Aleph. Sorry, so that's not what we're doing here. We're doing something else. Yeah, we're doing something else. Sreifa here. Nisua yotza l'sreifa. We're talking about the Bas Kohen. Oh, that's much better. Yeah. Look at the left side. If you look at the left side, you have a Bas Kohen and a Bas Kohen. One is married and one is arusa. One gets skila, one gets reifa. Which one did we say does the more severe avera? The arusa on the left bottom corner, she gets skila. So the left top is Sreifa, so skila is more chamer than Sreifa. Since the Torah says, no, you're the arusa, you don't get what the other one gets. You get something different, you get skila, shmamina, skila chamura. We got that. All we care about is these two right over here. A Nesuin and Arusa. Arusa gets skila, and we said Arusa is paigim herself, the Rebbeinu Shleilam, her family. Yeah? I was talking to this taxi driver, crazy story. I'll tell you the rest of it later maybe, but one of the things we were schmoozing about, I told him that this is a thing that always bothered me, to show how cruel these people are. That if an Arab is just choishish, his sister being over in Aver, he'll take his sister in front of the whole family and start stabbing her slowly. And she's screaming and screaming, and they kill her right in front of the whole mishpacha. And that also has to do with the Begam mishpacha, the honor of the family. This guy told me, I'll just tell you real quickly, he said that he decided to be Shomer Shabbos recently. So he went to shul and he davening the sudas and the this and that, and he says, but I'm nichshal, I can't do it. And I had another service to do it, and I can't. So I told him, maybe you shouldn't just grab the whole Shabbos in one shot. Do one small thing, pick one thing. So he says, well, like what? So I don't know. I said, maybe don't drive, don't go to shul, don't make any sudas, don't drop your phone right yet. See if this works. You don't drive your car because car is eish. He says, I like that. Mamish, he chaz it over 6-7 times. He said, Bezer Hashem, this is what I'm going to do. That's a great idea. One small thing. If I could do that. He says, but could I do one more thing? Could I also make the suit on the Shabbos morning? He said, chaz v'sholom. Don't. No. You can't do that. Emes. Shema Mino Skil Chamuri told me a lot of stuff, but he said, we're not aware of this. He said his 3-year-old, if he leaves from his, he lives in a moshav, if he leaves from the kitchen into the backyard garden, his 3-year-old starts crying. Because he has a cherdat hafrada. Because since he used to go every time for a full month or more, so she thinks every time he opens the door and goes out, he's leaving for good. So she has to be with him 24/7. He has to take her to the gan, bring her back from the whole thing, sleep in the whole everything. We don't know about these things. Skilo chamura misayif. Okay, so step one, what we did is we got that skila is more chomer than sreifa. So skila is on top of the list right now, on top of sreifa. But how do we know that skila is on top of sayif and chenek? We're gonna have to go slow. Skila chamur misayif. How do we know skila is more chomer than a sword? Here we go. This guy, just as we're talking, we can do it. Shekain nitno loiv zar. Okay, so this we're going to see 10 times. We just did one. Here's the second time already. You see, skilo, you give it to someone that's oivid avad zar. I can't think of a worse aveira than oivid avad zar. Umay chumra kidamara. Now the Gemara is being cheap on the words. It says kidamara. Kidamara means we said it's koifer beikar. It says the Gemara adarabo sayif chamur shekain nitna lan sheyir nidachas. I could think of something worse than avodah zarah. When many people do avodah zarah in a city, they all get the sword. Umay chumra, but l'maisa, what's the practical chumra of ir nedachas over avodah zarah? Shekei mamanim avad. You see that there's something physical over here. We take all their money, all their belongings, their animals, and their gold, and we burn it all. Mamanim avad. So remember that one. We're going to say this also 5 times. Shekei mamanim avad. So the Gemara says, no. You want to tell me that Saif is even more chomer than skila because of irin dachas. But think about it. Amrs. What is worse? Somebody that convinces somebody else to do avodah zarah, or somebody that does the avodah zarah? Tell you real quickly. The 2 guys, gevaldige meise guys, meise shaya. 2 guys decided together to go off the derech. Go off the derech. I don't know. One was a mediach, one was an idach. They went off the derech. And in the new journey, they stopped at a restaurant and they ordered a nice cold glass of Coke. And one of the guys, he takes the cup, he says, Baruch atah Hashem l'kelim melech ha'olam shakal nidvar. The guy looks and says, "This mishigah? We went off the derech. What are you doing?" Because he was so used to every time he grabs. So the guy says, "Oi, Baruch Shem kivay machus elaylam ba'ed." It's not, you're not new. Shalom to your son. What's your name? Ari. Ari what? Hissinger. Hissinger from where? Where do you live? Where?
England.
In London? Very nice. Is this your first time in Israel? No. Wow, you're lucky. Kids your age in America, they barely come to Israel. You get to come all the time, huh? Beautiful. Welcome. He has a seat. He has to sit on your lap because wow, it's full house. Schmack. We don't want to separate them. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go there and let them both sit there, that's a good idea. You want? No. I'm kidding. No, Rabbi said, what's worse? To convince somebody to do an avera, to do the avera? Oh, and what does that have to do with the daf? What's more chashuv? To convince somebody to do the daf or to do the daf? Mida toiva meruba. Now, I need a raya for that. We're in a sugya that you need rayas for everything. What's the raya that a mediach is more chomer? Because number one, we learned a few halachas. Somebody that convinces somebody else to do avodah zarah, there's no hasra. You believe this? You don't have to warn him. You take him and you kill him. Also, what's another thing that we learned about him? We don't look for schusim for him. Kim Saran, the guy walked out. Tell him to come in, not you. Here, open the door. Tell that chassid to come in. Tell him we have standing room here. He did not come for shachris at 7:55. Come on.
I came from the 6:30 shachris.
Oh. He doesn't want to come?
For money.
Ah, I got it. That's not nice. No, he's a young guy. He's these guys' friends. Right? So a guy that convinces other people, we don't look for schusim for him. What's 5 to 8? Then we have to do the whole over there. Says the Gemara, I'm serious. Skilo chamur Vitanya, madiche irani dachas. They don't get skila. They don't get saif. Somebody that makes somebody else do avodah zarah doesn't get saif. He gets skila. So what's worse? Skila is more chamor than saif. So now we have skila on top of the list. We have skila on top of strafe, and then we have saif. Skila chamur mechanik. And now finally the fourth misa chenek, strangulation. We know that skila is more severe than that. Shekei nitan lemigad avodah zarah. This is the third time we had that, and we're going to have it more. You give skila to somebody that does avodah zarah. My chumrah, what's the chumrah? Kedam maran. We said it's koyva baker. Adar abba chenek chamor. And why would I say that chenek is more severe than skila? That's an attempt. If you hit your father or mother, it should be at least not more severe, but at least as severe as kibud shem shamayim. To let's say be megadif or whatever. So we have a chumrah in kibbud avayim. There's a whole nida that we all know. If your father asks you to remove a splinter, for instance, and a little drop of blood could come out at the end, you have to ask your local rabbi if that's mutter, different things like that are negel and ma'isa today with kibbud avayim. Okay, says the Gemara. La'arusa bas Yisrael miklal nisua bas Yisrael mechanik l'skila. So that's what I did before, but at the wrong spot. Here we have on the right side. Here, you know what? So I'll make it easier for everybody. Like this. Okay, we have a bas Yisrael nisua and a bas Yisrael arusa, and the arusa we already established is a greater isser because she's doing 3 bad things versus the nisua. And what does she get? She gets skila versus chenek. So we see that chenek is more skila is more severe than chenek. Since the Torah changed the misa, the oynish by bas Yisrael, miklal nisua bas Yisrael, she's different than a married bas Yisrael. Mechanik l'skila to go from chenek to skila. Shema mino skila chamura. Srei v'chamur misayif. Now we're jumping. Now we're going to the next thing. We have the list: skila, sreifa, herek, chenek. We already did skila. Rabbi said skila is more common than sreifa, herek, chenek. And now we're going to go from sreifa. See if sreifa is second in the list, or maybe sreifa is the third in the list. Sreifa chamur b'sayif shekeinit l'bas kohen shezinsa. And guess what? Rabbi says chazara upon chazara. It's hardly anything new. Sreifa is more severe than Saif because it's given to the daughter of the Cohen. And why we said that the father doesn't get Cohen anymore, and he doesn't, or according to Rashi does mention something like that, but he says, people curse him in the street. We had this as well. What's the big chumrah of you burn everything. So the Gemara says, this says the word of via. And we already established that skila is more chamor than sayif. Misayif, afavia, homer b'sreifa, sreifa chamur misayif. So since it has the same word by sreifa, it has the word of via, it means that sreifa is more chamor than sayif. Now, so sreifa is number 2 in the list over sayif. The last thing we have to figure out is sreifa more chamor than chenek. Sreifa chamur mechenek, shekei nidin lebas kohen shezinsa, umay chumra kedamaran. Like we said that bas kohen is mechaleles of via. Adar chenek chamur. What's the chumra of chenek, Rabbi Yisai? It's similar to be Mechalsim Shamayim. Oh, now, just want to show you this for a second. Check this out on top. Top line. A Bas Yisrael Nesua gets Chenek. A Bas Kohen Nesua gets Reifa. Rabbi said, what's more Chomer? What do you see from that? The top line. What do you see from the top line? They're both married. One is a Bas Kohen and one is a Yisrael. The Yisrael gets Chenek and the Kohen gets Sreifa. So you see that Sreifa is more Chomer than Chenek. Says the Gemara, Bas Kohen Meklan, Bas Yisrael Mechenek L'Sreifa. The Einish of a Bas Kohen is different and changed. It went from Chenek to Sreifa. No, Sreifa Chamura. Saif Chomer Mechenek. One last thing we have to do is take care of Saif. We know that Saif is more severe than Chenek. Let's just look at the chart in case you want to know. Here, the last 2 things on the list. Oops. On Tanakam, on the left side, Hereg, Saif is more common than Chenek. How do we know? Shekei nitan lad sheir nedachas. Umay chumra shekei memon in avad. Adar ava Chenek chomer shekei nitan lamak ava v'imoy. Maybe Chenek is more severe because of kibud aveim. Umay chumra shekei hukash. K'vayt shemayim. Afilu hachi, at the end the Gemara says, Poshit Yod Be'ikar Adif. Person, Ir Nidachas, is much more severe because it's Poshit Yod Be'ikar, it's to deny the Ikar of the Ikrim, which is to believe in the Rebbeinu Shalom. Now we're going to do all this all over again for Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon, as you see in the list, says the Sreifa is number 1. And Chenek is number 3, not 4. Why? Very, very pashut. Once we see this, we'll understand everything. Sreifa is more chomer than skila. Why? Because it's given to the daughter of the kohen that's mizana. And because it's a terrible thing, she now defiled her father's name. People in the street see him and they curse him. But skill should be more chomer because you give it to somebody that does even the worst thing, which is avodah zara. Umay chomer, what's the chomer? She can put she he denies the Rebbeinu Shalom. Reb Shimon Tamei, Domar achas arusa, v'achas esua, yotzel sreifa. So let's go to Reb Shimon here. This is the Tanakama. Look at the Tanakama. Bas Yisrael arusa, skila. Bas kohen arusa, skila. Bas kohen esua, Sreifa, Bas Kohen Arusa Skila. Says Gemara. Min da afke Rachmana la Arusa Bas Kohen Miklal Arusa Bas Yisrael Meskila le Sreifa. This is on the Tanakama. I want you to see the Tanakama. Look at the Bas Yisrael Arusa gets Skila, the Bas Kohen Arusa gets Skila. What does the Reb Shimon do? He switches. This is what he does for now. The Bas Kohen gets Sreifa. So what's more chomer, rabbis? We take the bottom line over here. The Bas Yisrael Arusa gets skila. The Bas Kohen Arusa gets sreifa. What's more chomer? Whatever the Kohen gets is more chomer. So you see that sreifa is more chomer than skila. Verstehst? Yeah? It's very easy. Give a kick. You see? Skila is for Yisrael. Kohen is sreifa. So you see sreifa is more chomer. Givaldik. Sreifa chamura mechenek. Now Sreifa is top of the list according to Reb Shimon, and I need to know that Sreifa remains on top of the list. We said that Sreifa is more common than Skila. What is Sreifa more common than Chenek? That we have to check out right now. Sreifa chamur b'chenek, shekei nidel lebas kohen shezinso. Sreifa is number one because it's given to the bas kohen. Umay chumar kedam mora. Adrab chenek chamur shekei nidel lemagav v'yiboy. Chenek is more common. Umay chumar shekei nukish kvadim kvadim makoy. Says Gemara, "With the Abgar Rachmana leNesua Bas Kohen Meklal Nesua Bas Yisrael Mechanik LeSreifa." When the Torah changed from a married Bas Kohen, from a married Bas Yisrael Mechanik LeSreifa. So let's go back over here. Yeah, top line. A married Nesua Yisrael gets Chenek. A Bas Kohen gets Sreifa. So what do you see over here? What's more Chomer? Sreifa is more Chomer than Chenek. No, Sreifa Chamura. Sreifa Chamura Sayif. And finally, I need to tell you that Sreifa is more Chomer than Sayif. Shekei Nidl Bas Kohen Shezinsa. Umay Chumra Kedamaron. Adarab Sayif Chomer. Why would I think that Sayif is more Chomer than Sreifa? Shekei Nitan Lanche Ir Nedachas. Because it's given to the Ir Nedachas. So my Chumra, what's the Chumra? Shekei Mo'avad. Because you have to burn everything. Remember, we had this also. What's more severe? To convince somebody to do an Aveira or to do it yourself? Convincing somebody else. The Kavachomer. Now, a very, very, very simple Kavachomer. Chenek, we said, is more severe than Sayif. And yet, Sreifa is on top of both of Chenek. Sayif, Hakal, Lekoshkin. So certainly, Sreifa is more Chomer than Sayif, which is less than Chenek. Oh, sponsors. Turning of the Daf Shvat, innovations LLC in honor of Elchanan Pressman officials, Chus Vakiv Simcha Ben Pega, Shidduch for Refuah Yudas Masiyaf Chaya, and a thank you to Rebbe Stefansky, Adar Global, experts in international financial services, Yishkoya Acharye, Anonymous, L'Schus Refuah, Hatino Yecheskel Yedidyo Ben, Nechama Shendel. Skila Chamura Mechenek. So now, I already established that Sreifa is the top one according to Reb Shimon. What about Skila? How do I know that Skila is second in line according to Reb Shimon? You see, Skila second. How do I know it's second? And you go through the whole thing all over again. Skila Chamur Mechenek. Skila. Tell me if I have to explain this. We'll explain the words because then I'm going to have that guy that's going to say that he didn't go to yeshiva and I was too fast for him. Okay. Skila Chamur Mechenek. Skila is more severe than Chenek. Why? Because it's given to the Ovid Avodah Zarah. Umay Chumra, Kedamar, we said it's Koifer Baker. Adarab Chenek Chomer. What's the? We should all do this. We should anticipate this ourselves. What's the Chumra of Chenek, Rabbi Isai? Shkenit Lamaka Ovivimoy. Give it Avei. Umay Chumra, and what's the practical thing? Shken Hukash. It was Hukash to Kavod Hamakom. Midavka Rachman Al Arusa Bas Yisrael Miklal Nesua Bas Yisrael. If we just go to Geshmak, sorry, how come it's not? Oh, Arusa Bas Yisrael and Nesua Bas Yisrael. What's worse? Chanukah Skila in this case? Oh, but it should really be Reb Shimon. But okay, Reb Shimon also says Skila at this point. Shema Mina Skila Chamura. So you see, Skila is more Chamur than Chenek. Skila Chamur Mesayif. How do I know Skila is more Chamur than Sayif? Shekei Nitna Lemegadav. Adarabba Sayif Chamur. Shekei Nitna Lanchi Yerin Dachas. We have the Chumra of Yerin Dachas. So my Chumra. You burn everything. This is the third time we're having this svara. The guy that gives that convinces people to do Avodah Zarah. What oynish does he get, Rabbi Isai? Chenek. What does the nidach get? Yerin Dachas guys get. Remember, Sayif. Chenek is more chomer than Sayif. Chenek we already established is more severe than Sayif. Skila chamur mimenu we already established that Skila is more chamur than Chenek. Sayif akal likoshin. So certainly Sayif is on the bottom of the list. Chenek chomer Mesayif shekain nitan lamaka ovevimoy. So now the Gemara says according to Reb Shimon, look, Reb Shimon says, check this out. Chenek is third on the list over Sayif. Why? Because you give that to somebody that's over on Kibbud Aveim. Shkenit l'maka avivimoy. Umay chumra kedam maron. Because Kibbud Aveim is like being koifer baker, covered the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Either Rabbi Sayif chamor. No, on the other hand, I can say Sayif is more severe. Why? Shekei nit l'lan she'erin dachas. Because you give it to most of the city does have with Zara, you chop off their heads. And the chumrah is that their money is burnt. Everything's burnt. What's worse? To convince somebody to do the daf or to learn the daf? Convincing somebody to do avera is the worst. There you get skila and the rest get sayif. Shimon Omer bechenek. And Reb Shimon says that the medicher nidachas get chenek, so therefore chenek is third on the list, and sayif is on the bottom, because the mediach gets chenek, and the guy that does the avera gets. But Rabbi said the Shachris guys, whoever's there for Shachris, unfortunately, I came in from America after a 30-hour trip and I overslept, so I started shir like 10 minutes late. I apologize. So Rashi says, Margala b'pumid Rabbi Yochanan means, Rabbi Yochanan was used to saying this thing. The Yad Ramah says that it means that it was like jewels, like a margalis, like a stone, a pearl, a beautiful thing. Which just remind me of whoever learned in the Mir, Rabbi Nosson Tzvi Finkel, Zechat Tzadik Levracha, when a Bach would come to him with the Dvar Torah, he would pull out money from his pocket and give him. He says, what a beautiful Dvar Torah. And he'd tell me, I wish I had more money. I would give you, your Dvar Torah is worth much more. It's Margala b'pumid the Rabbi Yochanan. Naira Moirasa Bas Cohn Shezinsa Beskila. So not a lot of big chidushim here. Everything that we learned basically. Naira Moirasa Bas Cohn. A young girl between the age 12 and 12 and a half who's engaged, and the daughter of the Kohen who's mizana, she gets skila. Reb Shimon Omer b'sreifa, she gets sreifa. Zinsa me'avia b'skila. If she's a bas Yisrael, she gets skila. Reb Shimon Omer b'sreifa. Michael Mashman, what's the chiddush here? L'Rabbanon. Nisua yotzel l'sreifa v'lo yarusa. Let's just go back here for a second, if I can find it here. Arusa, you see on the bottom. Sorry. Bas Kohen Nesua is changed. Her oynish is changed from chenek to sreifa. Nesua yotzel sreifa v'lo yarusa. L'Reb Shimon achas arusa v'achas nesua yotzel sreifa. So let's see if we have achas arusa v'achas nesua. Yeah. But where is he? He's over here. Okay. Reb Shimon here. Nesu and Arusa are Sreifa. V'tayim emai, Mishum the Rabbanon skila chamura, because according to Rabbanon, what's more severe skila? The Reb Shimon Sreifa chamura, so they get Sreifa. Nafkemina lemishin eschai shtei Mrs. Bezdin. Let's say a Naira Mirasa was mezana with her own father, so the Shaila, does she get skila or Sreifa? So according to Chachamim, skila is the most severe, she gets skila. According to Reb Shimon, Sreifa is the most severe, she gets Sreifa. Neither b'chamura. My Reb Shimon. The sign of Shimon Oimer, Shnei Klal number of Bas Kohen. There's two rules in the Bas Kohen. Two Yisaitis. B'Bas Kohen v'loy b'Bas Yisrael. What? Bas Kohen v'loy b'Bas Yisrael? Eim av b'Bas Kohen. That what? V'hoitzi akosov nesua meklal nesua. The Torah changed what the einish of an nesua should be by a Bas Kohen. Meklal nesua. V'arusa meklal arusa. And changed the einish of what Yisrael Arusa gets to and what a Kohen Arusa gets. When we change it, we give the Bas Kohen a more severe. It's also more severe. Now here's the big chiddush Rabbi Yisai. A Bas Kohen we said gets what? Sreifa. Two Eidim come and lie, and they say this girl, she's a mizana. We want her to get misa. What should she get? Sreifa. What do Eidim Zayimim get? Whoa, how do you know that? Time out. What should they get? Don't jump. What should they get? Same thing. Sreifa. And as a big chiddush, they only get chenek. Zayimim Nesua Bas Kohen, which they want her to get Sreifa. B'chalal Zayimim Nesua Bas Yisrael, they get what? If this woman was a Yisrael, that's what they get. Which is what? Chenek. According to Reb Shimon, should be Sreifa. B'chalal Zoyim Arusa Bas Yisrael. She gets skila. Torah Rabbanan. Ubas ish koin ki seichel. Seichel means a lashon of chilulim, like to be mechal Shabbos. Here's the pasuk: Ubas Kohen ki seichel is nice. Yochel afilu chilul Shabbos. Maybe it's a lashon of chilul to be mechal Shabbos. It's funny, no? Interesting. Talmud loymer liznais. No, it's a chilul of znus. I want to say chasidish shavart here. I think it's important. It's I'll say it beremez as much as remez as I could say it. I heard this from a number of people. I heard this from a Yerushalayim that was nichshal. So I got to say it over. A Yerushalayim. I know this person to be a Yerushalayim. A very, very good guy. That isurim like this start from kiseichel. It's a beginning, a start. Every major isser a person does, if you think about it, nobody jumps into the major isser. Whoop, I'm going to be over the zar today. It starts from a text message, from one word, from a small thing, a very small action, and then it leads up to kiseichel. This Bas Kohen, she started. It's a chesed. She started kiseichel, but that little start, that's where all the trouble begins. Yochel afilu chilul Shabbos. Talmud loymer liznais. Bechilulin shebiznos. Torah is only talking about arayis here, not about chilul Shabbos. Yochel afilu pnuya. Maybe she wasn't even married. No. Nemer kan avia by Bas Kohen it says avia. V'nelam avia and says by Narim Ros avia. Melan znos im zikas abal. Obviously there's a husband involved over here. Avkan znos im zikas abal. There must be a husband to be chayiv these onjim. This is wild. Maybe the pshat is that she's mezana with her avia, with her father, and nobody else. No. Shomer he mechaleles. It's everybody. So why does he avia? Never can avia. Avia. Malan's nosim zikas abal. Afkan's nosim zikas abal. So it must be with a husband. Just two more lines. Ima lahalo naira v'arusa. Who told you it's a maybe it's only a naira mirasa, only a 12-and-a-half-year-old. But let's say she's 15 years old and she was a bas kohen, she was a mizana, she doesn't get the isser, she doesn't get the soinish. Imala naira v'arusa, afkan naira v'arusa. Naira v'nesua. If she's a naira and she's married, boigeres v'arusa. Let's say she's a begeres, she's 13. Boigeres v'nesua. Vafilu skino minayin. Tamaloymer ubas kohen mikol makoim. Any bas kohen gets a big oynesh. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.